Let's welcome in an NBA champion with the Dallas Mavericks, a former teammate of Kevin Durant, and one of the most respected guys in the last decade or so in the NBA. You say tough juice, you're like, Caron Butler can play. Caron Butler knows how this league operates. Caron Butler joining us in the herd. I said it was a little like Neo once he figured out that he was the one in the Matrix, right? Remember when he now all of a sudden he knew when to duck, and it was completely. That's what I've seen from LeBron. He seems to be different to all of us. You play in this league for over a decade. Okay? Everybody respects your game and your knowledge of the game. Do you see the same thing, or is this the same guy we've always seen?
I'm seeing what you guys seeing. He's extremely special. I think he's a guy that, it's blatantly in the Eastern Conference, it's become the LeBron James Invitational. And he's taken the league by storm. I think after winning that championship last season and delivering on his promise, to Cleveland, he just has a different disposition and approach to the game. And, it's scary to see. And I recall in 2011 just sitting on the sideline with me and Brendan Haywood. And we was just once he figured this thing out, it's over.
But you guys were in his head, though.
Yeah, we had a chance, to do something special, but our window of opportunity was limited, and we all understood that. And now that window is closed for a lot of people. And, in the Eastern Conference, he's just doing something that's extremely special, and we see greatness, night in and night out, from him and the teams that he's on.
Okay, I want to play for you something DeMar DeRozan had to say after the game. DeMar DeRozan, of course, the leading scorer for the Toronto Raptors, second year in a row that they've beaten the Raptors, swept them this year. This was DeRozan after the game.
If we had LeBron on our team too, we would have won. We could say that. We could say that all day, time, everything, but we didn't. It happened. We got swept, and it's going to be one of them long summers for us.
Give me the real talk. What happens when he walks in the locker room? If you're on that team as the vet, what you say to him?
As a vet, I'm definitely going to talk to him because he's the superstar player on that ball club, and he's the leader. And first of all, you shouldn't have those thoughts in your head. But if you do, you should never share them with the world, and most definitely they should never exist outside of your body. For people to see that.
You can think it, but don't say it, dude.
Yeah, definitely, because I think now, LeBron is a clever guy and a clever assassin. So, for years to come, for the next, he don't show any signs of slowing down, LeBron James. So for the next 5, 6, 7, whatever years, you're going to have to see him, and he know that he has the mental, psychological edge over you.
Caron Butler joining us. Doug Gottlieb for Colin, the herd on Fox Sports Radio, Fox Sports 1. Let's stay in the East. The Washington Wizards went on a 26-0 run. We get caught up in the run. To me, I think it's about John Wall. It feels like the rest of the world is starting to see what many people in the NBA, especially in the Eastern Conference, have known. That's probably the second best player in the East. And I don't think they can beat the Cavs, but I remember 2010 when the Thunder pushed the Lakers to 6 games. Mm-hmm. And were you on the Thunder that year? I'm trying to think which year you were on the Thunder.
2014.
Yeah, so 2010 was they were all 22, and they lost on a Pau Gasol tip-in Game 6 at home. And you thought at the time, they couldn't beat the Lakers, but that was kind of announcing their presence with authority. We're going to be around for a while. It feels like that's what we're seeing from John Wall and the Wizards, or am I seeing it wrong?
No, absolutely. And that's something that I said probably back in December, where I said John Wall is the second best player in the Eastern Conference, and everybody looked at me with a different type of look. I don't know if it was a smirk or confusion or something, but that's something that I stood by and I stood on. And then now, everybody's echoing those sentiments. But with that being said, he's a great talent. He's a great player for numerous reasons. He's great in the open court. He's great in the half court, and it's something that's just a joy to watch. And if he continue on at this pace, he's going to be an extremely attractive player for, free agents to come and play alongside, because he's a pass-first guard, but he can take control over the game at his will.
He's so incredibly fast and long in transition that it puts the defense kind of backing up and which, of course, opens up shots for people because you feel like you're backing up, people have to help, and a willing passer will kick it out. I can't think that people wouldn't want to play with that style. All right, let's go to the West. You've played 22 games with Kevin Durant. As much as we've seen a different kind of air about LeBron, we've seen a little bit more of the nasty in Kevin Durant. Like, he single-handedly said, hey, we're winning this game. He's talking trash to the mascot. He's talking trash to the fans courtside. He's bowing up against Rudy Gobert. It feels like there's a maturation and maybe a little bit more physicality from Kevin Durant.
Well, we always thought that, from the second he went down and then we knew he was coming back for the playoffs or, a week prior to the playoffs, we knew that, with the injury and everything, he wasn't going to be limited in the first round. But the second round was his opportunity against Utah to, get his legs under him and get back. And I said, Kevin Durant will have his fingerprints all over this series. And now he's in the rhythm. He's in the groove. And he's playing with a certain different disposition and edge. And you got to give a lot of credit to his supporting cast, and particularly Draymond Green. He brings that fire and that edge out there. And, you see KD, opening up and being more physical and vocal about, whatever he has going on out there. And he's in the moment. And that's what you can appreciate by a superstar like this. And I think he's in the right place at the right time in his life, and I think you're going to witness greatness going forward.
I kind of agree with you. Best scorer in the league, right? Like, he has the best.
Easy money sniper, what they call him.
Yeah, well, because he can score at 3 levels as well. I mean, you got 7 foot. If he's hitting his jump, there's nothing you can do. You're not going to block a 7-footer's jump shot. He's shown increased strength and toughness around the basket, posting up, and he's obviously got mid-range game. He can handle it. I mean, there's just so many things, and now he has more space to do it with,
Absolutely.
Which he didn't have in Oklahoma City.
Well, you can't double him because he don't have shot takers. He has shot makers, and then you look at him on the face-up game. As you touched on, he's 7 foot. He got a handle. If you come out, he can introduce you to hip-hop. If you want to, he could back you down because he's 7 foot. He can score in multiple ways. So, and now you have the instinct. You have the killer mentality out there night in and night out. And, that's something that happened with the injury, I think. I think the game of basketball was taken away from him for a minute, for a couple of weeks, and it put things in perspective. And he's like, I really got to capitalize on this.
Yeah, no question. Plus, didn't play that well in Game 1, but he seems to have made the Jazz pay in Games 2 and Game 3. Last thing, we just had LeVar Ball on. He announced his son's shoes going to be $495. The
nickel, huh?
Yeah. That's more than the nickel for the comment. That's a nickel in the NBA. That's a couple days per diem in the NBA. That's a lot. $220 for some slides. As a guy who's been in this league and all the shoe deals, and we all grew up getting free kicks and loving the different sneakers, and coming from the tough background you came from, when you hear $495 for a guy who hasn't played a moment in the NBA, what do you think?
I mean, that's an astronomical price that you're asking, but, I look at people that had success in the business. I'm a Nike guy. Shout out to Nico and George Ravlin and those guys. But, I look at, what a guy like Kanye West did with Adidas. And, he went from, Louis Vuitton to Nike and, now with Adidas. But, he built that up to that. You know what I mean? And now he could charge, whether it's $800 or $1,400, $1,500, $2,000, whatever the case, and the volume of sales and people want that product. But with LeVar Ball, I love what his father's doing, and creating their own brand and stuff. And you look at other stars and superstars with what they could have maximized at, it's impressive if it works. But if it don't, it's a tremendous amount of pressure on this kid to go out there and, sell that brand.
Do you think this takes away from him joining a new team? Like, when he walks in that locker room, does it matter to his teammates?
No, I don't think it matters. I mean, I don't matter. It doesn't matter what you got on your feet. It's what your presentation is and what you bring to the team. And, if, your game is as big as your father said it is, you're going to be a tremendous asset to whatever organization you go to.
He was the number 10 pick in the NBA draft. He's a 2-time All-Star. He's an NBA champion. And I've told people all the time, the NBA is so much about respect. If you have the respect of the league, that kind of is all that matters for most guys, and everybody respects Tough Juice. Thanks so much for joining us in the Herd.